Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Breaking Bitcoin, recorded live for you here in the studio. It is Tuesday, November 19th, 2019, foul year of our Lord. Hopefully you guys are doing absolutely fantastic wherever you happen to be tuning in from. This is your daily source for market updates, sentiment, and news for traders and cryptocurrency people the world over. Are you guys doing good? I'm doing really good. It's an exciting day. I am really looking forward. So by the way, guys, in just about 24 hours, my friend and co-founder of Kraken Cryptocurrency, Ben, will be here, and he will help me fix the lighting. So looking forward to that. Not one more day. Not one day will we have to deal with shoddy lighting. Not one day, guys. Anyways, I am your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst and co-founder of KrakenCryptocurrency.com. Doesn't matter if you're watching us on YouTube, Twitch, DLive, Facebook Live, or on Roku with the Investor News Channel app. If you want to support the show, make sure to subscribe, follow, share, and engage in that lovely live chat that we've got going on over here. And I see all the good people coming in here this morning. Good morning, David Rice, Michael Naranjo, Itzhar, GBU, Professor Wally, JJ Beachbum, Andrew Jonas. Haven't seen you before, but good to see you. Welcome to the community, guys. Let's have a fantastic show. Before we get into the Daily Scuttlebutt, if you are new to the stream or you've been watching for a while and you've been thinking to yourself, I want to trade with the Kraken Cryptocurrency team, but funds are tight, or you're trying to HODL out for the deal, which I respect the frugality as a financially independent person myself. Perhaps the end of the month is what you've been waiting for or wanting. Stay tuned, because I don't have the full details yet. But we do have our once a year Black Friday sale coming up this November. Unlike Cyber Monday, we do things a little differently over here, unlike everybody else. Happens once a year. Really excited for it, guys. If you guys have been looking for your opportunity to join the fastest growing trading team and educational trading group on the interwebs, stay tuned, guys. Build an if this then that strategy, not in they said so I react strategy. All right, so premium trading group updates, as well as overall Kraken cryptocurrency updates. Website Discord integration is carrying on full steam. I am super excited about that. Very soon, our entire sign up process will be much more streamlined, and membership will be more convenient than ever. Following that, we're going to be taking all of our coursework, plus much of what I'm working on currently, and we're going to be uploading it to the website in an online learning academy. You will be able to track your progress as you learn the Kraken cryptocurrency trading way, receive updates and motivation, have real-time quizzes and challenges, and best of all, we can track your progress in the back end, so we know exactly when you're struggling, exactly when to step up, step in and give you a hand or give you mentorship, which is going to be awesome. Our new cryptocurrency interviews and insights video with Cap, the UK ambassador from Particl, is doing very well. Make sure you guys go check that out after today's show, if you have not already, as well as our Bybit tutorial part 1. That information is going to tell you exactly how to sign up for any exchange that you want to, although it is specific to Bybit, but the tools and the knowledge can be applied to any exchange and honestly any online service, as I'm seeing from the comments section. Make sure, listen, privacy is a huge thing for me. Security is a huge thing for me. Being a public figure, it has to be more so. So I'm very passionate about that. Make sure you guys go check out that video. And I don't know if you guys see, but Bybit Brawl, guys, the Bitcoin Brawl, the Bybit games are upon us yet again. We did the EOS competition, did Bitcoin before that. Really looking forward to this competition, guys. I'm actually getting really, really excited about it as we commence with that. Registration is open right now. It opened up yesterday. You guys can sign up to compete and win with the Kraken Cryptocurrency team. You can do that at bybitbrawl.krakencryptocurrency.com to register for the team. We've got a good number of people in there already. I'm excited. Anybody is welcome. Anybody is welcome. We'll be communicating and talking all throughout the Discord, not only in the premium section, but also in the general section as well, trying our best to communicate our strategies. And I'm really excited, honestly. If you're not signed up at Bybit, you can do so at bybit.krakencryptocurrency.com. If you do that by the end of today, if you are registering a new account, you'll not only get their normal bonus of $60 when you deposit 0.2 BTC, but you will also get an additional $60 bonus for registering during this window of the game session. So that's a free $120, and that's pretty neat. I like free money. So anyways, we've got a fantastic show. Yesterday's YouTube crypto comment giveaway winner was Matt Grzicki. Hopefully I didn't pronounce that wrong. I'm terrible with names. GBU Wally, thank you so much for the $20 donation, my friend. He says, here's something to go into the CC Lightning or the CC lighting kitty. Knock yourself out. It's a portion of my profit from watching your show. Learn, earn, and don't get burned. Thank you so much, my good friend. Shout out to you and to Gunbot University. Hopefully you guys are crushing it over there as you generally do on a daily basis. You know what? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. The lighting is fine. The lighting's good. I need to close off that window. I thought that was a good idea. It wasn't a good idea. And the TV behind me's got to go. The TVs have to go. So the TVs are going to get removed from the wall. That's all going to get foam paneled, decorated, all that stuff, all that jazz. And then we'll be one step closer to good stuff. Good stuff. So you guys won't have to deal with the glare of the ring light behind me. Probably more than 1 or 2 days. Thank you guys so much for hanging in there. All right, we've got a fantastic show. Let's do what we normally do. And I want to thank this month's crypto comment giveaway sponsor, which is Spectre Security Coin. Make sure to go check them out at spectresecurity.io for all. Oh, shoot. It's a good thing I checked this out. One quick moment, guys. Come on now. Just getting the right screen pulled up. There it is. There we go. Okay. Oh, why are you doing that? This is not what I want. Working on it, guys. It'll do. It'll do. It'll do. It will do. All right, let's head over and give away some crypto as we always do. Oh, okay, cool. It is working. It just didn't look as pretty on my screen. Sorry about that, guys. Did not look as pretty on my screen. But anyways, let's load the comments on yesterday's video. It was Bitcoin prepares for its biggest movement yet. We talked about the Bitcoin Cash hard fork, XRP throwing money around as they like to do, yet not at their own price. And Anonymous. We actually didn't cover Anonymous, so we're going to be covering that today. So we're going to randomly pick a winner. And it is Rickie Thompson, my friend. He says, your daily stream is timed perfectly. My day shorting penny stocks is over and on to crypto. I keep my platform running just in case I want to catch the backside move. That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for the continued support. You've been around for quite a while, and I really appreciate it. Get a hold of me in the Discord, JustinWise5696, or you can just join the Spectre Discord. Link is in our Discord as well to that, and I will tip you some crypto, my good friend. Let's get into the live scene, and let's talk about some crypto. All right, here we are in the live scene. How is everybody doing? Paprika says, stay in the Zen zone. America, says Light Yagami. Forza World TV, what's going on, my friend? Here's the thing. That is very, very important. Now, I may seem like I am always excited, and I am generally not a high-strung person whatsoever. If you guys meet me in person, the people who met me at San Francisco Blockchain Week know I'm quite a reserved individual. But it is important. You know, one little life hack that I'll share with you guys before we get into the charts is, and this is so important in today's digital age. When you wake up in the morning, what is the first thing you generally do? I know that for a long time, this is what I generally did. As soon as I was awake, I would pick up my phone and I would react to whatever was on my phone. I got some messages, or there was a trade, or somebody's talking to me, generally conversation, or there's a news article, or I need to update something. I got an email. I need to pay a bill. It could be anything, right? Don't do that because that immediately starts you off in the day as subservient to the universe, which I don't mean in an egotistical way, like you're greater than the universe. Don't get too existential on me, people. What I mean is that it sets you up to be reactive toward what comes at you in the day. Instead, make a goal, make a habit of the first 15, 20 minutes of your day. Don't touch your phone. Wake up, get up out of bed, make your bed, make it all nice, and then do something that is going to put you in control of your day, put you in control of your life, whether that's sitting down and journaling out your ideas or your goals for the day, making a checklist of what you need to accomplish that day, whether that is cleaning something. I find that very therapeutic. Whether that is exercising, you can do these things simultaneously. You can go for a walk and write simultaneously. Just go outside and get some fresh air. You can meditate for a few minutes, do some mindfulness exercises. All these things are really, really, really important, and I find have made a big contribution in my life toward keeping me mentally feeling like I am in control of everything that happens, which is very important when you're trading the markets. It's very important, especially if you're day trading or anything like that. Anything that requires high stress, anything that requires psychological control, puts you in control of your day and sets you up to be you're setting the rules. You are not reacting to what's happening to you. The universe is reacting to what you're doing. And that might seem like a small little life hack, but it's absolutely, absolutely essential. I think it's super helpful for me. Okay. All right, guys. So in an active position, as you guys can see a little bit. So this comes from just working with the analysts and trading what is directly in front of me. I am taking, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's go through the chart. Let's go through where we're kind of sitting at, obviously from a top down perspective, as we normally do. And then we'll kind of zoom into what I'm doing right now and look at the current trade setup. All right, so let's pull open the chart and we'll start on the daily as we are prone to do. Okay. And we will just for the moment in time hide those drawing tools and kind of come back to those. Okay, so in a macro, no, I am in an active position, but in a macro perspective, I'm still flat on Bitcoin. So that means that my largest trading or my trading stack or my trading capital is hedged. And will remain so. Now, that does not preclude me from taking long positions. You can do this on multiple accounts. You can do this on multiple exchanges. You can do this however you really like to. You can also do it simply by, if you have a hedge short on, you can just reduce a portion of your position size. So, for example, if you have $10,000 in Bitcoin or crypto, and you are hedging that underlying Bitcoin up, this really applies to Bitcoin particularly, you can take other trades from that hedged position of capital. So for example, you can have $5,000 on Binance and you can have $5,000 on Bybit, and you can be hedging $10,000 with a 2x leverage short on Bybit and then taking trades on Binance, right? You don't need to move the funds off of Binance. That money is hedged. Everything balances out. Eli Back says, can't believe how lucky I got with that trade. Almost a 4x gain on game. Might be gearing for a sell-off. Can you please look at it? Congratulations, man. Highly appreciated. The $10 donation. Thank you so much, my friend. And I'm absolutely ecstatic. Let's just bring it down here, Justin. Let's just bring it down. That's awesome. I love to hear when people have great winning trades. And again, you've been around for a while. You've been watching for a while. I'm sure you've been doing work on developing your strategy. So I'm happy to see that that is paying off for you. We'll take a look at game here in just a little bit. Let me make a note of that on my show notes. Game BTC, actually wrong tab. Okay. Okay. So I chose to err on the side of discretion. I did not take the continuation short that was signaled on the close on yesterday's close. So I remained flat on Bitcoin, didn't take the trade to the downside. I do feel like we're getting into an overheated portion. And although the trend is still to the downside, if I am going to be shorting for a full risk position, the entry at this point in time is not attractive to me. This is not an attractive level. And I do take a look at the analysis of some other people. It generally doesn't really help me out whatsoever. And I only look at those after I've already made my decision. So never do that, by the way. Never be unsure and say, well, okay, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. So i.e. you're not planning your trade, and then go on Twitter, go on Reddit, go into Discord and look at what other people are doing and allow that to influence your decision. So maybe you were feeling bearish and so you were just going to stay hedged, and then you go on to onto whatever platform and you hear some people being very, very bullish, and then you go on and you put on a long and you get smoked. Don't ever do that. Plan your trade and train your plan. We're all doing this to develop our own strategies, to develop our own discipline, to develop our own rule set. So that's exactly what I did. So insofar as applying my capital stack into a full risk short position, I don't feel that this is an attractive price to do that. Now, if I'm wrong on that and price continues to move down, as we can see, it did move down about, let's see, what was it? About 2%? about 1% now, and we've retraced about 50% of the daily candle. So yeah, about a 2% movement further to the downside. Again, there's a lot of interesting things that are going on here. Obviously, $8,000. We can talk about kind of the nonsense of psychological support. We can kind of talk about, if we go back over here, we can talk about VPVR levels, which again, if this is the Bybit chart, so I don't have the Bitstamp chart open, we can go look at that real quick. Bitfinex, Coinbase, Bitstamp, here we go. We can talk about those levels as well. And if we just look at where the edges of our high volume nodes are, that's actually not down until 7,771. So that doesn't mean that we can't get a reaction, that we can't get consolidation at 8,000 and get that movement to the upside, which I feel is most likely going to occur. We can kind of see that at least on this movement to the downside, after a large candle like what we saw on Bitcoin, typically we do get a doji candle. We typically do get an upside candle, which again, generally are good opportunities to be fading the correction, fading the rally to the upside, because they're not rallies, they're just reactionary movements off the bottom. Remember, when the macro trend is bearish, you generally do not want to be going long. You generally want to be going short. And that means that if you're looking at the weekly chart to determine your trend, or you're looking at the daily chart to determine your trend, and then you go down into a meso time frame or a lower time frame, you're not looking to catch those rallies to the upside. One very nice thing about that is something like Wadatar Explosion. You guys can use Wadatar Explosion. It's a public indicator of ours on TradingView. And you can see that when you get these reactionary rallies off the downside, you will typically not, Wadatar Explosion will be slow to flip. And I think that a beginner would feel that is annoying because they want to trade reversals. Wadatar Explosion, all of the indicators that I utilize are not reversals. The only time I trade reversals is going to be by analyzing price action. And I only allow myself to do that if we're in a fairly important or significant level of the chart, right? You can see some very interesting reactions on lower timeframes and meso timeframes when you are at daily or weekly levels of supply and demand. But that's odd. So, and that's good, because what Wada is telling you there is essentially you need to be waiting. Don't take this long. Wait and grab that short. That's what a lot of the analysts in the group are doing right now. For example, Fibonacci, who we talked to earlier, he is looking. He has his bid set around the $8,300 level, $8,250 level, looking to get a fill there. And again, he's doing the right thing. He's not longing the rally. Or longing the correction. He's waiting for the correction to play out and reestablishing his short position at a better price after taking profit. So big shout out to him. He's been doing very, very well. Very, very well. How's the weather out there? It's sunny. It is sunny, my friend. It is sunny and beautiful. It's sunny and beautiful. I'm really excited. By the way, I told you guys, camera upgrade, got the DSLR over here, got the lens, just came today, waiting for Ben to get here tomorrow to help me set it up. I couldn't be more pleased. It's really, I'm really pretty excited about just improving the aesthetics of the studio. Okay, it is sunny and beautiful outside. Sunny and beautiful outside. Sorry, rambling. Daily time frame. Daily time frame. Gave us a continuation short via PTP. Chose not to take it via discretion. I will be waiting to see exactly where this tapers off, waiting to get the next strong signal. On the daily, we would need to see price above 82.97, and it would probably take a while at this point in time because we haven't gotten a Minx crossover. Parallax is still quite bearish. Wadatar Explosion is still quite bearish with a rising explosion level. Commodity channel index is below zero. So in whatever capacity you're utilizing these indicators or utilizing this in your trading system, or whether you're not using any of these indicators, again, trending indicators are typically going to be fairly confluent. The magic and what we do in cracking cryptocurrency is we teach individuals how to put those together to make something that works. Like a ski slope looking at that weather chart, or is it a haul? It is a haul. Yeah, it is a haul moving average. And again, I kind of talked about that yesterday. Interestingly enough, in running new backtest ranges for everything that I have, interestingly enough, the Hall moving average is really, really up there with the Donchian 30. It's different. It gets you in at slightly different places in the market, but it's really, really interesting. And you can use it for continuation trades. You can use it for continuation trades in a pretty profound way, I think. Again, Requires the back testing, requires the work, requires the effort, requires the refining, requires making those modifications. But that is what I'm going to be live testing or live trading for the next 2 months, and get a nice little data set there from the daily. Now, as far so Filson asks, so no bounce. So that's not what I'm saying. In fact, subjectively, after again, just as I pointed out, after a large candle like that to the downside, you typically do get, again, you can see it like in this example, right where my cursor is at right here, we get a doji candle, and then we get a pop back up to the baseline, to resistance, and that is a movement to be faded. And I would expect that to, again, that is the logical setup. Again, when the trend is bearish, you fade corrections, and then you're typically wrong the last time. So you either get stopped out or you get an early exit signal. And then what you do is you then look to see if you're getting that trending long signal. And if so, then you take price to the upside. There's a lot of things that can help with this. Ikanashi can help with this. Rinko can help with this. We're going to be looking at Rinko charts a little bit later, potentially. I had a good conversation about Rinko last night with a friend. Okay, let's see here. All right, let's drill down to the 2 hour. 2 hour is not giving you an exit signal yet on your short position, which you could have established here. So let's see if one would have grabbed some profit off of that. Nope, not on 12 hour. All the previous 12-hour signals did play out quite nicely. Not yet on this latest one. Haven't gotten the momentum to the downside. Doji consolidation candle on the 12-hour. Again, these typically do after a large movement to the downside. You can see it leads to a failed rally. Same thing here. Sideways consolidation, leading to a further sell-off, sideways consolidation, and a slight rally. So what do we see here? The exact same thing. Large sell-off to the downside, doji candle consolidation. Let's see. Down on the 4-hour time frame. Down on the 4-hour time frame, we are right now getting the exit signal for shorts. 4-hour time frame had you in a short. The early signal, if you took the reversal signal with Minx, you could have gotten in right here. Parallax also flipped bullish, so that is 2 out of 3. You're good to go there. The full signal would have come here on the 4-hour time frame. Not bad. Obviously, you missed out on the big profit candle, but you did catch the second leg down right here and getting the exit signal here. So overall, that's quite a profitable trade. About 1.35%, but again, that's your exit. Let's see, yeah, we would have grabbed profit here as well on the wick to the downside with about 2.25%. So not bad. Not bad on that. 2-hour time frame, again, as I kind of talked about yesterday, this is my favorite meso time frame. 2-hour time frame has been doing very, very, very well. The only kind of nuance that you want to make sure that you apply to the 2-hour time frame is making sure that you're not. You want to be very, very hesitant about taking unconfirmed signals, because the 2-hour being a lower time frame, it's going to have more volatility, it's going to have more chop. We're going to get into the intraday volatility here in just a few minutes. So we can see, yep, right here on this candle actually was your full confirmed short, right? In this consolidation, you can see Wadatar explosion is giving you the signal. We are below the baseline. Minx is good. CCI is good. Parallax is good. All of these things are fine, and you're able to capture pretty much the entire movement to the downside. You get an exit signal from Minx here. You also get an exit signal from the baseline here. You don't get your exit from WADA until here. So just depending on what your exit strategy is on these. Okay. Now getting down into intraday volatility, and we will talk about, we'll go to the Bybit chart. You guys can actually see the trade behind me, but I want to point it out on the trading view chart for a little bit more nuance. Very simple price action trade that we have right here. Again, we had a very large movement to the downside. So what does that mean? It means correction rally is likely, or a movement to the upside. We hit a low. We didn't get a lot of long liquidations, which is what I was kind of watching for. And then what happened? We moved sideways, consolidation, had an impetus of volume and selling pressure. You can see here where we actually have a liquidity grab. We have two liquid, well, you call it three, but one main one right here, followed up by a second one right here. So 2 stabs down below the previous low, the previous daily low. So that was the monthly low. So far as we've established, that was the monthly and the weekly low. We cleared out liquidity there. And then what was I really watching for? I saw price move to the upside, and on its sell-off, it did end up forming a higher low. It ended up rejecting initially, formed yet a higher low, and that is the trade that I'm currently in. Price action wise, I really wouldn't like to see I would be okay with seeing a higher low here. It would be the first kind of warning sign. Again, I am in a position of profit right now. We'll see kind of what happens on this next move to the downside, and holding the trade with a soft stop loss, waiting to see if we do end up cracking that previous low. Because once an area has been rated for liquidity, there's no reason for price to go back there unless the trade setup is invalid, unless the trade setup is wrong. So that's exactly where I have my soft stop loss, waiting for a close below that level, and we'll just pretty simple setup. Pretty simple setup. Overall, on the looking to take price up here to about 82.20, and from there, I will watch to see exactly where we come in relation to the baseline on the daily. Again, the baseline on the daily is sitting around 83.03. So that is the area where I'm going to be looking to either get filled on my short. That's where I'm going to scatter limit bids to get filled on my short to fade the corrective rally, to continue taking the trend to the downside, or we end up getting an invalidation of that trade setup. Again, remember, when you enter right at the baseline, if price crosses above and closes, or if you get another exit signal, then your trade and setup is invalidated fairly quickly, and then you're just patient and you wait for the trending trade to the upside, because you don't want to be buying the top. There's a difference between attempting to fade, between trying to fade a corrective rally and trade in the direction of the dominant trend, and then realizing very, very quickly that your trade setup is invalidated and exiting with a small loss, and then immediately flipping long, right? And often what you'll do is you'll end up buying a local top, because then when price comes back down, you will have revalidation of your short setup. You re-enter your short setup and you're able to take a profitable trade. But if you trend flip immediately, just because you closed over the baseline when none of your other indicators of your system are bullish, that is generally a problem. Those indicators are there to protect you from false movements. Like a ski slope. Good stuff, man. So we'll be watching Bitcoin fairly closely today. But again, the other point is there's really no point in watching the Bitcoin chart. You establish a position, you have a trade thesis. It's either valid or invalid. It's that simple. So on the streamer account, got about 10,000 contracts right now, and we'll be watching that throughout the day. Moving along, let's get over to Ethereum. Ethereum, interesting as well. Oh, you know what? This is probably a good opportunity. I've been wanting to do this more because I do not give on the stream anyways. I do in the Discord, but I do not give, in my opinion. Just a second. Oh, here it is. Come on, OBS. There we go. I think that fits nicely over there. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it fits nicely. Okay, there we go. I got it fixed. Hey, what's going on, Dark Rico? Satoshi Nakafomo, I am doing well, my friend. Okay, yeah, so sorry. In a quest for transparency, in a quest to show, I want to show my open positions, my open trades. And more so than me, I really want to highlight the traders that I get to work with, the other mentors, the other senior analysts and junior analysts in the premium trading group. And they do such a good job. I don't feel like I tell them enough, you know, how good they do. They're amazingly talented traders. And it's really I mean, it's really a pleasure to work with them every single day, to have helped mentor them, to have learned from them as well, and then to be able to provide not only their signals, their setups, their mentoring to our premium members as well. It's really it really is a pleasure, man. I'm a blessed individual. But anyways, sitting very well in my BCH short as well as my TRX short. As far as all other altcoins go, I am short on ETH-Z19 as well, long on IOTA DGD. And long on BTC USD down below, as you can see there. Litecoin as well, as you guys can see from the risk percentage, it's a long-term position. It's fine. It's gone up. It's gone down. It's gone up. It's gone down. I will end up holding Litecoin for quite a long time. All right. Want to point out our senior analyst Alex. He is rushing it with his open positions right now. That's not a fake number, guys. That is live. This is all live data. He's had an interesting month too. He didn't take a lot of trades the first week, which is good. He was sitting on his hands. Had a little bit of drawdown in week 2, and so far you can see in week 3, just in his closed positions, he's doing doing very, very well. Picking and choosing on the altcoins, playing the altcoins quite well as a fairly you can see here as far as risk and position size go, a fairly large position size on taking Ethereum to the downside, and he caught a good majority of that movement. So good on him, Alex. You're doing fantastic, man. It's a pleasure to work with you, my friend. And then Da Vinci also as well, flat on Bitcoin, sitting with a few altcoins right here to play out and hedge. He's had a great month as well. Very similar to Alex. Unlike myself, they were fairly sitting on their hands for the first week or two. You can see that Da Vinci only took one trade the first week, only took one trade the second week. As far as the third week went, much more active, 3 very, very, very good trades. And then again, sitting on some good positions right now. So largely the atmosphere at Kraken Cryptocurrency is flat. Largely the atmosphere is patience. Largely the atmosphere is sitting on our hands, not looking to take any insane reversal trades off the bottom here. What I'm doing is just an intraday trade. Overall, I think the atmosphere is again bearish. The trend is bearish, looking to fade any rally or correction from a higher price level unless that happens to become invalidated. All right, guys, it is 12:34, and before we get into Ethereum, I can see requests, guys. So I think that it's also time to check in with junior analyst Midwest Attempts for today's Bitcoin weather report. One moment, let me see if I can get Midwest on the line here. Just 1 second. Okay. All right. Okay. I've gotten Midwest Attempts contacted. Midwest, what do you have for us today?
A doji candle.
A doji candle. Okay. Can you I'm a little confused. Like, who is that man behind you?
Time for consolidation. Justin.
Oh. Okay. I feel I have more questions than answers. But thank you, Midwest Attempts. The Bitcoin weather report with Midwest Attempts, everybody. Thank you very much. Very, very confused. Who was that? Who was that man? Anyways. All right, taking a look at Ethereum, guys. All right, taking a look at Ethereum again, we can see good justifications for Alex's short position here as well. As you can see, we were consolidating in a fairly tight range. In that range, again, as we talked about before, between 181 and 191, we had breakers to the ups. We had a bearish breaker above us, a bearish order block, and we had a bullish order block below us, actually a bullish breaker that broke to the downside on yesterday's candle. And for me, that would have been a good justification for a short signal, but as I was already established in many positions, I'm kind of fresh now. You guys What you guys can't see is that I ended up taking a lot of profit on many of my alt to BTC positions. So many of them did quite well. And then the ones I'd cut, again, as with taking trades. So if you put on, which I did, about 20 altcoin positions, and 15 of them are winners, you're going to cut the 5 losers as early as possible, potentially 1 or 2 full or close to stops on that. But again, you do your best to try and cut the losses to as small as possible, because that's how you preserve capital. And then you allow the winners to run. Once you've attained profit, you put them into no loss situations. And that's exactly what I did. A good chunk of my alt BTC positions, after taking profit at higher levels, came down. The remaining position was closed out at my break-even stop loss. Therefore, I'm preserving capital. That's all good. Now I can rebalance that, move that capital move that profit into my BTC USD hedge. There's an additional nuance to this, whereas when price is quite high, you can already begin moving that capital into your hedge with leverage. This is one of the beauties of leverage. That way, if price comes down, you actually have gained not only BTC, but USD value as well. It's a concept I'll be going over in one of the next modules as well, a little bit more. You can your hedge position can do a lot for you. And I think that learning and understanding how to use that, using futures contracts for their primary intention, in my opinion, which is protecting your capital, hedging, being able to lock in gains, especially in alt BTC trades. And that requires looking at the alt USD chart, understanding where the trend is, understanding the dynamics, and understanding triangular arbitrage. It's not a complicated concept. It's just one that many people fail to execute and act upon. With Ethereum USD though, interesting chart. Breakdown to the downside yesterday would have signaled actually we never got an exit signal. So one could have logically held a FUSD short position on the daily time frame from this candle right here. You would have had 2 candles of drawdown. You would now be sitting in good profit right now. You would have entered on the daily candle close, and you would be up about 3.44%. Obviously, we can see that Alex got himself and the premium members a better entry on that, because he was up about 6%, looking at his live trade tracking sheet. So as far as where kind of what I see for Ethereum right now, there's nothing here that indicates trend reversal. The only thing that's interesting would be Parallax. Parallax does have a very nice feature of getting overheated or too cold, for example, generally overheated. It is indicating that we are in an element of getting overheated to the downside. Now, that is not the exit signal. The exit signal is going to come when we actually get back above negative 200 for Parallax right there. So we want to be a little cautious about assuming that the trend is going to dramatically reverse at this point in time. Again, overall things still quite bearish, still looking to fade corrections, So be cautious with, I think, taking profit a little too early on Ethereum USD here. And I think I would be cautious with again, thinking that this is a stop loss on it. This is a fairly pronounced negative bearish movement to the downside. EOS USD is honestly unattractive for me to trade at this point in time. It's not overperforming Ethereum. It's not overperforming Bitcoin. I don't really see any divergence as far as prices moving differently. Essentially, any position that you're going to be putting on EOS, you could just be putting onto Ethereum with higher volatility. So something to point out. Okay, I can understand individuals trading the intraday volatility a little bit differently. And you can see, what's interesting too is on the daily, looking for that little baby spring, which is I am playing on Bitcoin right now. You can see that it's almost identical on Ethereum. Again, you have your low. You actually have a triple tap. You have a triple drive here on our 3 drive pattern on Ethereum on the lower time frames, clearing out the liquidity below that stop. But again, looking much weaker. You can see, look at the strength of Bitcoin right now intraday, and compare that against Ethereum, which is not showing that strength. In fact, just as Bitcoin was rallying in a significant sign of strength intraday, anyways, above its previous lows, right, and holding and establishing a low higher than that, and now continuing to move to the upside as we speak. What Ethereum did exactly the opposite. It drove down and formed a lower low. So that, again, for counter trend traders, that might excite people to take the Ethereum trade. Again, if you do feel that this level is going to hold, this is probably the point of maximum opportunity for longs, at least intraday. But I don't like longing the weaker asset of a pair. I like longing the stronger asset of a pair. And so very similarly, if we look over at EOS as well, EOS actually intraday does look a little bit stronger than Ethereum. But the only thing that troubles me about EOS is that we haven't cleared that liquidity below the lows. So I'd be a little bit I'd be a little cautious. And the strongest asset, interestingly, intraday of all of them is Ripple. Look at Ripple. It didn't clear liquidity below the lows. Again, I think that was I don't think so. So I want to point this out. The reason why you can see Bitcoin and Ethereum clearly raid liquidity below that low is due to their market cap, is due to their liquidity on the exchange, and this is very similar across all exchanges. But if you look at EOS and XRP, they're less liquid, so there's more slippage. So I think the slippage and low volatility, low liquidity is what really contributed to the strength of this down wick right here. And so price didn't actually need to drive that far to grab liquidity. Liquidity wasn't actually below that wick because you can see that there's very low R to R intraday for setting a stop loss at that wick. But again, XRP showing decent signs of strength on the daily. See if this level holds. See if one could get a breakout trade. Again, not the way that I like to trade. For XRP overall, again, more so than any other asset. I actually was I caught most of this movement to the downside. Again, as a trend following trader, I look to capture the meat of a movement. I leave the head and tails for counter trend traders. So I was short the majority of this movement right here, ended up closing my short here. So I did miss this last leg down. This is also an area where looking at the daily and kind of looking at where we're at, I would definitely want to be taking profit on my shorts, especially if you do get a nice close above the baseline here around 25.41, and where I would for XRP at least be looking for a little bit of reprieve, a little bit of release from this from the selling pressure, which I kind of feel consistently across all four major dollar coins over on Bybit. Bring in the soup Nazi next week, Justin. Lee says, shout out to anybody from West Palm Beach. Hashtag gay for tea. Oh, the soup knot's a pretty funny idea. No gains for you. We need to get Midwest over here to record a few more. All right. 1244. Let's get into the Bitmex alts. Look at the Bitmex alts for today. FBTC, again, people asked, why, I remember having this conversation distinctly, like just a few days ago. What is the, why hold the FZ19 short open? Well, it's quite simple. It didn't close above the baseline. Didn't give me an exit signal. Again, if we look at what Minx did, Minx told me to go short over here. Closed below the baseline. And then Minx never closed back above, which is beautiful. Again, Minx tends to get it right. And I had to sit through about two candles of drawdown, and now finally getting the movement that I want. Again, we just juxtaposed that. We looked at Bitcoin USD outperforming ETH-USD. And when that happens, what is going to happen to ETH Bitcoin? ETH Bitcoin is going to move down. So quite happy with that. Again, more so excited if we actually go over and look at the FZ19 chart. We can see a little bit more of a pronounced movement over here on the FZ19 chart. Again, I would be, I'm not really dramatically looking for significantly lower prices here on FZ19. Again, I am fundamentally bullish on Alta BTC pairings. I think that they will hold their value well, especially if Bitcoin ends up dropping off a cliff. Could be wrong about that, but that is my prognosis, especially seeing how altcoins have performed in the past and kind of looking at the cyclical nature of altcoin pumps and alt seasons. We are in a bullish environment for altcoins, and although we are experiencing a sell-off right now, I think that people, again, just as they normally do, when Bitcoin gets really, really bearish after being very bullish for quite a while, people tend to get depressed. People tend to pull out of the markets because they're hyper-focused on Bitcoin. They're not looking at opportunities in other areas of the market. Whether they're in trading USDT pairs or whether they're in trading other dollar pairs on other exchanges, the opportunities are there. Like, you don't have to be hyper focused on Bitcoin. And I think the reason why, people's reputations are made or staked on Bitcoin is because people aren't trading the broader market and they aren't applying a trading strategy to the broader market. But anyways, FZ19, continue to short FZ19. As far as XRP BTC goes, we are definitely in a no trade zone. We can see some signs of what might potentially be accumulation here, but the problem is we really need, none of the indicators agree. And whenever we see an area of the chart like this where prices just moved forever and forever in consolidation for a while, it's not really something that you want along. It's really Wick City here. It's quite dangerous. I do have this area on my chart. This is, now keep in mind that I'm still utilizing the 30 period Donchian for not only reversal baseline bounces, but also zones of interest. So that zone of interest is going to be up here around the 32.19 area level. It's where I would be interested in fading XRP BTC. Because unlike just because I'm bullish on altcoins doesn't mean I'm bullish on XRP, guys. Sorry, you're gonna have to back up that $500 million truck over here, XRP, before I start saying positive things about XRP. I'm just kidding. You couldn't pay me enough to say positive things about something I don't fundamentally believe in. So yeah, that's the area that I would be looking to fade at this point in time. Donchian 30 period reversal baseline bounce. And overall, I mean, this just XRP does not excite me as a tradable asset at this point in time. Obviously, we'll check back in. Things change every day. If we look at what the indicators are doing, we do see waning bullish momentum on Wadatar explosion, particularly. We see that Minx is below the zero line. CCI is below. Parallax is still bearish. So we have not seen any sign of trend flipping yet. We'll kind of see if we do get a movement over with low volatility. Potentially, we will be taking price up to 32.19 and then regrouping and rethinking about exactly what we want to do with XRP at that point in time. But as it sits for the moment, just holding off on Bitmex alts. ADA BTC again was long on this, caught that, took profit actually not with the full position, but on this movement to the upside, ended up hitting my take profit. It was right up around here. We can actually go see on my trade tracking sheet. 539, took profit at 539, ended up selling the rest of my position at my break-even stop loss for an average exit of 529. So average exit right here at basically the daily close. And pretty good. ADA giving us a close below the baseline, which means we need to reestablish. We're also getting a Minx baseline cross under. Now, commodity channel index remains bullish. Wadatar explosion remains bullish. Parallax remains bullish. So we can be looking for continuation trades later on if we do end up getting a resurgence in ADA. There's no short trade on the table yet. ADA is definitely just a sit on your hands trade at the moment. Now, EOS is interesting. EOS would have potentially given us everything we needed, except for Wadatar explosion, did not agree, would not have allowed us to capture this movement to the downside. Again, unless you were taking the lower risk, I'm just going to go with Minx and one other period of confirmation, which is interesting because we did get Parallax. So potentially just using those, potentially you could have been, also we were butting up right into this bearish order block as well. I didn't take this trade. There's a couple reasons why. Because I didn't get a proper signal. I was too extended in altcoins at that point in time to be looking for low risk. I'm only taking 2 confirmation trades, looking for full confirmation trades on altcoins. But the order block did weigh heavily on me. Again, it's the only line on my chart. As you guys can see, it's the level we need to get over. It stretches between 39.84 and 40.17 on EOS. And typically when you can, again, we did the exact same, kind of breakout price action that I like to see where we establish a low, we move up toward resistance. We've tested resistance multiple times. We establish a higher low above the median, which we did right here. And then we just kind of consolidate underneath that resistance or grind that resistance out. Typically when you approach support or resistance from very close, you just tend to drive right through it. But when you do approach support or resistance on high volatility, so a big candle down into a demand zone, then that's typically when you can get a very nice bounce. And it's those areas where that whole catching wicks with limit orders, where that makes sense. You kind of need to, monitor and see that movement to the downside, see those big red selling candles, and then establish those limit positions and manage your risk as effectively as you possibly can. Looking over at TRXZ19, similarly short on TRXZ19. In candlestick analysis, this candle right here is potentially a hammer that's forming, which price action analysts are going to be calling for a reversal. I'm not going to be doing that. We might see a little bit of a bounce back up on TRXZ19, but again, I think that my trade thesis is valid with TRXZ19. Disagreeing a little bit with some of the other analysts in the group who are feeling a little bit more bullish on TRX than I am, but I just trading the trend on TRX. Again, not all altcoins are going to move in directly the exact direction. Again, look at the rallies on altcoins recently, and then look at XRP. Look at the difference between these and BCH. They are moving differently and independently of each other to a degree, meaning that the trade setups on them do need to be different. So I maintain my short on TRX. I have hit take profit one. I'm not setting a trailing stop loss yet on TRXZ19. We haven't moved far enough for me to be putting on a trailing stop loss. And overall, happy with the trade, happy with the setup. Looking down at Bcash, again, Bcash, you guys can see we have established a higher low, so I need to keep my trading view chart updated. So right now, my trailing stop loss is going to be right around the 3087 level if we end up getting a lower low. So I've been short for the majority of this movement, was actually quite lucky to capture the relative top on the BCHZ19 movement right here. So good volatile movement to the downside. Again, tracking with Bitcoin quite nicely and weaker than Bitcoin, obviously. That's why it is selling off. So Bitcoin is holding its value to the dollar better than BCH is holding its value to the dollar, making Bitcoin more valuable. And, overall BCH is, I would say, to be quite honest, if you really smooth things down, BCH is quite a decent alt to trade. It moves. It's very volatile. It's very choppy. But if you can just establish longer term positions on it, they tend to do quite well. And as far as Litecoin goes, still in an established long position, still in a relative, or still in this, in my opinion, accumulation area of Litecoin. So a very different trade setup for me. Again, as I've said before, in SAT value, this is an area of the chart where Litecoin has come down to multiple times and put in 100% rallies. Again, I am fundamentally bullish on altcoins. Litecoin is one of my favorite altcoins, so I am still establishing position at this point in time. For the most part, pretty confident or pretty happy with how large my position is. I don't really feel I need to add to that. And so I'm going to be comfortable to let these swings and ebbs and flows in Litecoin play out, because that's not the trade that I'm looking for. I'm looking for the longer positional trade on Litecoin right now. All right. So that takes care of the major Bybit pairs. That takes care of the major MEX pairs. Let's go take a look over at the chat. See what you guys are saying. Let me know if you guys got any questions. Oh, there we go. Scott, if you're watching, the 50 of 50 videos have successfully been updated. Could have the Bitcoin Nazi. No Bitcoin for you. B-Flow says the FZ19 came closer to its stop loss than the old Bic shave you had this morning. Yeah, you're darn right. Jonathan says, why does it say Friday, the 27th of December, 2019 on this chart? J-Money trading from the future confirmed. Because those are Bitmex expiration contracts. So they are futures contracts on Bitmex. And that's the date where they close. December 27th, 2019 is when the futures contracts will be settled. Jonathan asks, I have a repeat question. If I am trading shorts, is there a minimal optimum amount of money to be slinging around? No, the nice thing about, cryptocurrency is that you can trade for $1. You guys can go register an account at Bybit, and you can deposit $1 and you can trade $1 around, and you can really get a feel for the platform. That's why I really like, from my heart, I like cryptocurrency trading, especially for beginners. Like, a lot of individuals think that you should learn to trade stocks or Forex, and that's fine. I have nothing against that. I started trading stocks, but cryptocurrency is very, very, very accessible, very accessible. And as long as I think you have the right mentality, the right viewpoint, the right discipline, or you're learning from the right people, I think you can do very, very well. But that, I mean, that all depends on, you know, the right amount of money to be slinging around. I mean, that all depends, you know, on your total equity. That's the way we position size is always based off the damage, the risk to our total capital. That's also how we establish our hedges. That's also how we establish supporting positions. Ken D, I'm sitting still. If I'm going 88 miles per hour, that's one big smooth ride. Yeah, just a Crown Victoria, man. Steady as she goes. You Go Chill started with $10 on Bybit. Now it's $20, $50 next target. Good, man. It's a 100% gain. Philly from Manchester just noticed that Neo is bucking the daily alt slump. Thoughts? Yeah, I like Neo. Let's go take a look at Neo. By request from Philly from Manchester. This is, so based off the 30 period Donchian, this is my zone of interest on Neo. I would like to see a retracement down here to around 1206. Down all the way to 1127. That's where I would be interested in seeing the kind of reaction that we get from Neo. Again, quite bullish on altcoins. You know, this is definitely an area where we want to be patient. Neo gave us a lot on this way up. And I think obviously lower time frame, meso time frame traders are going to always find abilities to, earn profit if they're good, if that is their strategy and edge. But I think that for a lot of people who watch this channel, and I myself personally, I'm looking for these nice pronounced swings on alts. If I'm looking to take smaller trades or smaller margins, I'll do that on Bitmex or Bybit, because then I can protect myself better. As far as Neo goes, we have this bearish order block that is sitting above us that we did end up rejecting from again. Still looking at the chart, that's still be an area where I would be looking for a breakout. Neo is not in an area where I would want to fade Neo at this point in time. But it's supposed to be a DeLorean, the stainless steel chassis. Have you ever ridden in a DeLorean, man? Those things are uncomfortable. Those things are not smooth rides. Good old Crown Vic, man. Just drive that boat around. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break and a word from our friends over at Bybit. Guys, by the way, do need to mention just for those of you who are tuning in, I just got to hit it one more time. Really excited, man. If you guys want to partake in the Bybit Brawl and trade with our team, cracking cryptocurrency, it's open to everybody. You don't have to be in the premium trading group. You guys can go over to bybitbrawl.crackingcryptocurrency.com and register. There's potential of up to 100 BTC prize pool that will be shared with everybody in the team. You don't have to be an earner. You could actually probably smoke your whole account. We've got worried about our profitability as a team whatsoever, not incentivizing anybody to do that. But yeah, if you guys go over today, if you haven't registered at Bybit, you can do so at bybit.crackingcryptocurrency.com. If you do it by the end of today, because the first 2 days of registration for the competition, you can get up to $120 margin bonus for your trade. Return from the break, guys. We've got so much to talk about. We're going to talk about Anonymous rising back up out of the ether and the bowels of 4chan to start a $75 million development fund for privacy cryptocurrencies. We're going to talk about what is the best way, hypothetically, to kill Bitcoin. And we're going to be talking about Brave 1.0's major release and the Joe Rogan experience. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll see you in just a few moments. This is Jason when he first learned about Bitcoin margin trading on Bitmex.
Why? Why? Give it back! Give it back! Give it back!
This is Jason 6 months later after signing up for Bybit with the Cracking Cryptocurrency referral link found in the description below. Don't make the same mistake as Jason. Sign up today at bybit.crackingcryptocurrency.com. And we are back in the live stream, guys. Thank you so much for holding on and for your patience. We're going to do something special for the D-Livians over here. What's going on, my D-Live people? Thank you guys so much for the support. We are going to throw some lemons in this chest. Excuse me. We're going to throw some lemons in this chest. And I want to thank Yigit0 and 10 others who followed today. Thank you guys so much for the follows over there on DLive. Highly appreciated, my friends. As well as over on YouTube. Amar, Alessandro, and 308 Anon. Thanks, guys, so much for the donations. Or not for the donations, for the subscriptions on YouTube. Welcome to the community, guys. Highly pleased. Let's get back to Big Daddy Bitcoin here real quick before we hop into the news. Here we are with the current trade setup. Cryptonomics. What's a recommended Forex platform you use? Curious, specifically low fees, and can trade palladium and precious metals. Thanks in advance. I use Awanda because I am based in the United States. If I were not based in the United States, I would most likely trade on Blueberry Markets or IG International. There's a lot of good brokers out there. You have to make the decision. Do you want a dealing desk broker? Do you want to trade with a broker that's, an ECN or an electronic communications network, which is all cryptocurrency exchanges or ECNs, basically. They're just P2P. They're just connecting the order book. They're just providing the order book and allowing individuals to fill it. They're not actually stocking the order book itself. Whereas there are Forex brokers who provide liquidity by taking the opposite side of your trade. That's not a bad thing. Everybody thinks that dealing desks are inherently against you. There is an element to this. They would prefer losing traders, but they don't, established brokers don't actually do anything special to move the market against you. The financial institutions are the ones who move the market against you. So they're not picking on you in particular. They're going to pick on you if you're trading with a popular crowd. HODL gang, HODL gang, HODL gang. Please be supportive. Come in. This is the Bitcoin hodler support group. The end is not nigh, guys. The end is not nigh. Got a lot of good years left in us. Okay. Like I said, we got so much to talk about today. Our first story, I need to re-record, by the way. I need to re-record the, geez. Oh no. I forgot to get water during the break. It's all gone. What do I do? The other thing Cryptonomics is FXCM is ranked just as high as Awanda. I prefer Awanda. That's just me. You can trade directly in TradingView. You can trade with MetaTrader 4 or 5. Awanda provides the MetaTrader 4 download. Yeah, Eli, man, I am so sorry, man. Let's go look at game, my brother. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, my friend. Absolutely beautiful. Congratulations. What did we end up running up here on game? 912%. Eli, you are the man. You are the man. King of the shitcoin pumps. I love it, man. I love it. Wow, we did end up putting in from yesterday's daily close almost another 140%. That is ridiculous. So how big was this movement then? That math doesn't add up in particular. let's just say you entered on the long signal here. About 670%. I can kind of deal with that. Not bad, man. Wendy2 says, game is done, son. Yeah. You know, so my sentiment yesterday was, again, looking at this nice, big, beautiful take profit candle. You know, again, make sure that you take some profit, move your stop loss to break even. And when you trade on the right side of the market, good things happen. To the upside, as we can see here, when everything flipped bullish, was the right way to trade. Again, just, you know, to kind of hammer it and zone that down. Whoa, that's not what I meant to do. Let's just take a look here. This was a 21% candle, and we did get the early Minx crossover here on this candle. We didn't have any other confirmation until, yeah, this candle right here. This is when, well, potentially, yeah, potentially, actually, you would add water confirmation back here on the 8th as well. So you could have taken this trade on the 8th. Was it the 8th we got the crossover? No, on the 9th. On the 9th is when you got the confirmation. But you got a full classic signal. Parallax goes bullish. CCI goes bullish. Minx is bullish. We already rose above the zero line over here. Water explosion gives you not only a big green candle, or a big green column, but also a rising explosion level, and Parallax turns bullish as well. And then it just went bananas, man. There's very little I can say about this, man. Very little I can say. I mean, classically, almost every time you see this, I mean, game is most likely done. You can see that it was sold down, and who wouldn't sold this down? Who wouldn't have market sold and dumped the price down 50%? Well, let's see if it can establish a new high, and let's kind of see what intraday volatility we can play out. That's just incredible, man. You can just see that. One big old market sell right there. That's one big old market sell right there. Let's go down and look at the I love it, man. I love it. Listen, there's not a whole lot we can say about game, man. Nothing that's going to help you out anyways. I wouldn't long game from this point. I don't feel that this is, I don't know anything. I don't know if there's any fundamentals. There's generally some kind of fundamentals that are pointed to after the fact, after a big pump like this, that people try to use to justify why this move happened. What's in the name? Pump and dump. It's just a game. Yeah. Yes, sir. You know, Eli, I'm not gonna think less of you if you continue the same idea. If you grab some profit up here, I mean, but definitely, I mean, here's the thing, man. When something moves like this and you're able to catch it, if you're looking for more, now you're just being greedy, man. Now you're just being greedy. It's not like this thing's Bitcoin, dude. It's not like we're back in 2017. It's a pretty good movement, but only relative to how cheap it was, how steeply it was cheap. So low sat coin moved from 383 to a high of 1786. What was the high of this candle? 1788. So congratulations, my friend. Dreams still do come true. Oh, whoops. Hello. Did game pump so hard it broke coin market cap? There we go. 24-hour volume about 2.39 million. Coin market cap is getting throttled. Anybody else? Just me? Yeah, bots just reloading. There we go. Jeez. Went from a market cap of 1.5 million to 3.9 million overnight. Is there anything in the BAT tokenomics that is unattractive? Not really, and I don't really think they have the strongest token economics. You don't even need to use the BAT token to participate in the blockchain. But there's some... They're not bad token economics. Let's put it that way. There's not bad tokenomics there. Okay. To the news, guys. Come on. Okay. So, as you guys may or may not have heard on the interwebs, or Reddit, which is the pool of knowledge and information around the world, a mysterious pool of investors loosely or directly tied to the hacktivist group Anonymous has sprung up on the internet. Now, a press release from the 13th details this anonymous fund's plans to donate $75 million worth of Bitcoin to projects that focus on privacy and privacy and anonymity. So we can see here is the actual press release of the website, unknown.fund/press release. Here's the actual website of the fund right here, unknown.fund. According to them, their preference with their contributions will be given to those who work on projects that deal with protection of personal data, tools for anonymity, and specifically cryptocurrency and blockchain. Now, the organizers of the fund describe themselves as ordinary people from across the globe who met on 4chan. They cite the use of personal data to manipulate public opinion as a primary factor in their mission, citing the ultra-targeted campaigns of Brexit and the prior presidential election here in the United States as firebrand examples of how personal data can be used to sway public opinion for personal gain. And they see an incredible opportunity to utilize blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies to protect the rights and freedoms of people. They go on to state that this is a chance for humanity to create a new environment, a new and honest monetary system, and a chance to make the world a better place. So, on the surface, this is mysterious and intriguing and awesome from my point of view. This is hearkening to the exact ethos of why I got into Bitcoin in the first place, why I support Bitcoin, why I support Bitcoin development, why I advocate for Bitcoin, why I tell people about Bitcoin. Privacy, unconfiscatable funds, the ability to have a honest and open monetary system. These are the things that I've worked for the last 10 years of my life. But we don't actually know or have any proof that this group has any affiliation, directly or indirectly, with the original anonymous hacktivist group that came to popularity off the back of the 2008 financial crisis, just as Bitcoin did. Now, several of the individuals that were involved with Anonymous back in the day were targeted by federal prosecutors and law enforcement and jailed. There's actually a great Netflix documentary called We Are Legion that documents the rise and fall of Anonymous. I highly recommend you guys go check it out if you haven't seen it. But, obviously the kind of fly in the ointment there is covering the individual who was basically turned because the FBI caught him. And then he turned and told on his friends, as unfortunately many, many people do. It's all conviction and strength and power. And then you're going to spend 50 years in prison. And then it's, but have you met Joseph over here? Unfortunately, most people, we just kind of live in a world where especially young men are being raised to not carry their own weight, for various reasons. Also, with this, there is the fact that 4chan's involved. Let's just on the surface, ordinary people meeting on 4chan and establishing a $75 million fund. I mean, sounds legit, seriously, But to be fair, it could be real, and potentially it doesn't really matter. The reason why I'm kind of talking about this is because things like this have impact on people's minds and hearts, and ideas are what inspire people, and people need to be inspired. People need to understand. People need to see the original ethos of Bitcoin, and they need to see that alive and strong, especially in, market conditions where it's overall kind of tiring and depressing on people. The desire to push for a better world, to push for a better way of doing things, which is why many people hear about Bitcoin in the first place. It's actually, very few people who, I in my opinion, get involved in Bitcoin like just for the money. Like, people hear about Bitcoin and they want to support it and they like it because deep down they know that vision of decentralized finance, which is, speaking of DeFi, but again, decentralized finance, of having unconfiscatable funds, of having an open and secure public network, all of those things resonate with people. Like, people understand them on a base level to make sense. They appeal to individuals based off the ethos in the first place of what Bitcoin was designed to do. It's only after they look at the chart and see the volatility and think that they can make a lot of money from it too that people get involved. And then they tend to stay involved because there's an emotional component to it as well. Again, and I think that's why, just another reason why this is going to dovetail nicely with the second story that we're going to cover here. Bitcoin is very, very, very strong. It's not just a speculative asset. Even the individuals that are speculating on Bitcoin have that thought in the back of their minds. They can see the vision of what Bitcoin was designed to do. And to touch on that, let's go look at our second story, which is coming from Mr. Alex Kruger, who is an economist and widely followed crypto trader. And in this, article and in this Twitter thread that we're going to go into, he kind of outlines how governments could effectively kill Bitcoin. And I want to go over his reasoning here and see if I agree, and see if you guys agree, and see if there is something to his kind of game plan here for governments. By the way, don't let the government see this. So he has recently outlined how the government or powers that be could go about killing the still young and vulnerable Bitcoin. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Alex Kruger, he is a fairly well-known economist and crypto influencer, and he shared his thoughts on this subject in a Twitter post, and he postulated on how more powerful financial or political forces could plot the takedown of the preeminent crypto asset. Now, according to Kruger, a technical approach of a 51% attack wouldn't be necessary to destroy Bitcoin or its payment network. Instead, Kruger claims that, quote, governments could stop Bitcoin pretty simply by way of just shorting it. Now, by keeping Bitcoin's price suppressed, let's say under $1,000, that would have investors and network participants permanently lose interest in Bitcoin. Now, in this regard, Kruger could be likely correct. I mean, there are a lot of speculators that would be quite depressed. Again, one question that people have asked me and that I ask individuals, like if Bitcoin went down to $1,000 or $300, would you still continue to hold it? Would you still continue to hold it? It would potentially spell, at least in the short term and potentially for quite a long time, disaster for an asset that still relies heavily on retail investor interest and grassroots support. An extended period of price suppression would put a serious damper and potentially break the hearts of many Bitcoin supporters who are passionate and enthusiastic, and retail investors would soon dry up, most likely, leaving only bitterness and disappointment behind with no one left to support a recovery. This is the theory. This is the idea. Now, a recent study by CoinShares suggested that this year's rally from the $3,000 lows to the yearly high of $13,880 was different from the 2017 bull run. And according to CoinShares, while 2017 was largely driven by retail investment, CoinShares research indicates that this year's rally was likely driven by institutional money. Now, this is a point that I actually disagree on and that I think is false. Now, while any amount of institutional investment in the space is pretty exciting for Bitcoin hodlers who are in it for the price, analysis from Crypto Fund Research has found that there are about 804 cryptocurrency funds, and that these funds only account for about 18.16 billion of the entire crypto market cap. And if we run with those numbers, with the current crypto market cap standing around 220 billion, with Bitcoin representing about 146 billion of that, if you consider the total position of these funds estimated at 18 billion, including altcoins such as ETH, one could estimate that institutional share of Bitcoin is only potentially around about 6%, which would leave the rest of the space open for retail investors. So this fact right here, I think, butts up against that previous idea that the 2017 rally was led by institutional investment. And I think that that we have additional data that doesn't support this from looking at what was the most liquid market, where the large majority of liquidity came from, and that was actually the Tether markets. Now, we know that new entrants into Bitcoin are generally not going to jump into Tether. Like, run through your own experience of Bitcoin. If you got involved in cryptocurrency in 2016 or 2017 or 2018, you generally most likely just did spot Bitcoin, and maybe you traded altcoins on Binance, but maybe you didn't understand Tether, you didn't know about Tether. It's very rare that fresh retail traders come in and just move directly into Tether. That's very, very, very rare. Tether is actually like majority used by just traders, individuals who are specific to a platform of trading, and they're used by very, very, very large movers in the market. And so we have the data on that. And so that would, again, suggest, and as I've pointed out on the show before, that the 2019 bull run was not driven by new retail investors. It was driven by crypto veterans who are familiar with Tether, who are familiar with the entire space, who have been around and held or traded throughout the 2018 cycle, 2007-2018 cycle. That's another fundamental or secular reason why I am bullish on Bitcoin, because we haven't even seen the large retail wave come in, and Google search trends is up. All of these things, all the traditional signs that we look for looking over the last few market cycles are looking incredibly bullish. A lot of people are pointing to the stock to flow ratio. A lot of individuals are looking at some charts produced by Willy Woo. People are looking at the Meyer multiple. All of these things, all of these kind of fundamental technical analyses of Bitcoin are looking quite good and positive. And I haven't seen that. I haven't lost whatsoever my secular bullishness on Bitcoin. Still feel very, very, very bullish over the next 12 to 18 months on Bitcoin. Now, that doesn't mean that we can see suppressed prices as we kind of rebound and kind of deal with, again, this range from 6,000 to 9,000, which is, in my opinion, the fair market value of Bitcoin. It's going to take that retail wave of fresh money coming in to really give us the excitement that we want and to push price into an overheated zone, which, again, a lot of people are going to be excited about. A lot of people are waiting for, obviously, individuals who are long or holding Bitcoin so that they can take advantage of these inflated prices. Now, getting back to Alex Kruger's analysis here, he says that if enough pressure could be applied to crush Bitcoin's price down to around 1,000, retail aspirations would suffer a similar fate and eventually capitulate. Now, although time is part of this equation as well, in comments that Alex made to CCN in a follow-up to his tweet, he said price would need to be depressed for a long time, though. Time is more important than price. Indeed, it would take an extended amount of time for any one entity to demoralize and shake out a lot of retail traders. With many hardcore Bitcoiners embracing the HODL mantra, even a prolonged price depression would have many in the space continuing to dig in and even accumulate more. While dedicated hodlers could hang in to the bitter end, time would take its toll in the end and lead to potentially a collapse of the space, is again the theory, is again the argument. Now, one thing that is kind of interesting to point out with this is that, yes, absolutely, all of this makes a lot of sense mathematically. We could absolutely see, and I've warned about this before, we could see a coordinated nation-state assault on the price, and that we could see them expend capital that is fairly trivial to them to suppress the price of this asset to make speculators not want to get involved. But the reality is that Bitcoin is a global decentralized currency. And I think that no nation state has done that yet, and no nation state will do that in the future. So I think that while Alex Kruger's thought train here makes sense, I don't actually think that it is likely or realistic at this point in time. Don't think that it's likely or realistic at this point in time, because once one of the other potentially look at the kind of rivalry between China and the United States, you look at Russia, you look at any of these other large established nation states, even Great Britain, even European countries, they would see that attempted coordinated effort on Bitcoin, and there is opportunity in befriending the enemy of your enemy potentially, right? And nation state building is, unfortunately for political regimes, seen as a zero-sum game because of the way that we have structured our societies. So I think that's very, very, very unlikely. I think that if you saw a nation state step in to suppress the price on Bitcoin, you would see another nation state step in to attempt to supplant their efforts. And what we've seen is governments largely attempt to co-opt Bitcoin, not suppress the price. And as I've talked about before, the way that markets are made institutionally is that institutional investors step in, funds, governments, banks, they accumulate positions in an asset, then they create investment products for retail investors. And this is just another tool. Their mindset with this is, how can we siphon more money from Main Street into Wall Street? That's how it's always been. That's how it always will be, as long as we have these institutions in control over our money, in my opinion. And again, just another reason why I support Bitcoin in our mission statement here. So this is a good thought experiment. This is a good thought process. And for me, I think the best question from this is just using this article, using this kind of thought experiment as an opportunity to just reflect, this is very similar to the way that I trade. Plan the trade and trade the plan is a mantra that we hear over and over and over again. And the reality is, when we're talking about something like Bitcoin, this is something different than, a VIT-SAX investment. This is something different from holding some Apple stock. This is something different from trading the Forex markets, because there is an underlying fundamental aspect to Bitcoin that doesn't exist with all these other foreign currencies. Foreign currencies are foreign currencies. Stocks are stocks. Companies change the world. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. But there's only one Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is designed to change the way that we transmit money and value. It is the first digitally scarce asset. It is the first fully digital asset. It is the first... I could go on. So I think this thought experiment is helpful for reflecting with yourself, what are your long-term plans for Bitcoin? Are you going to HODL as an investor? And to what price? Are you going to HODL no matter what? Is there a price level at which you would let your Bitcoin go? And then if there is a price level at which you would let your Bitcoin go, what conditions would you need to see to buy your Bitcoin back? Doesn't matter if it's a higher price, because you're doing just the best that you can to protect yourself. And that's what we need to do at the end of the day. Everything needs to be viewed through the lens of how can I preserve my capital and take advantage of opportunities that I see in the market when they emerge. So I think this is a good thought experiment and a good opportunity for individuals to reflect within themselves exactly why they're in this space to begin with, and how long-term is their time horizon? Like, how long are you thinking? How long are you thinking for Bitcoin? If Bitcoin doesn't moon in 2020, what's your game plan? What if it's not going to moon until 2029? All right. And, you know, rounding out with some positive news today for the bat man, for the bat lovers in the house. The Brave browser is officially out of beta. I use Brave browser every single day. It's actually what you guys are watching on my screen right now is me looking at stuff on the internet through Brave browser. We're a Brave verified publisher, so if you guys would like to tip us bat, you guys can do that as well. But again, just go get Brave browser. Link down in the description if you'd like to download it, and use Brave browser. It's awesome. The Brave browser is now, however, officially out of beta, making the last like 2 years, longer actually, a beta testing period. We didn't know. We thought we were using the official Brave browser. Nobody ever tells us these things. But now Brave has released their 1.0 release, which is the stable release of the privacy-focused browser to its dedicated and growing user base. Brave's share of the browser market continues to grow with 9 million active monthly users. And I can just see this like a montage, you know, like, I am brave. No, I am brave. I am brave too. We're all brave. 9 million global. Brave, if you decide to go with that, I don't want a royalty. Just, I don't know, just send me a t-shirt. Now, Brave represents one of the most widely used crypto projects in the space, smashing out any dApp, anything that you could possibly think of. It's Brave, baby. Now, while Brave is merely a web browser and doesn't necessarily require the purchase of its platform's native token, BAT, Basic Attention Token, which again is one negative ding on their token economics, or to set up or to set up of the wallet, the hope is that it will, in time, easily onboard many to crypto functionality through the growth and engagement of the through the Brave browser. Now, Brave's privacy model stands in stark contrast to the current leader in the browser wars, Google Chrome. Now, while Google, through its various services, has made billions by monetizing user data through advertising, Brave's model is to disintermediate online ads. Brave users can choose whether or not they want to watch adverts or not, and if they opt in, they earn Basic Attention Token as a reward. They can then also use these BAT to reward publishers of sites that they enjoy. Now, while this is a relatively new and novel idea, as more users become aware of privacy issues and shameless monetization by the Google overlords, don't demonetize my video on YouTube, please. The Brave browser and BAT model of monetizing user engagement represents a powerful on-ramp to the crypto world. Now, what's interesting is that Brave recently got plugged on the Joe Rogan podcast as well, giving it exposure to millions in the Joe Rogan Experience audience, including highlighting the BAT functionality. Let's see here. Let's check this out. Okay, they told me not to. I can't do that. I cannot show things in Discord. So whatever. Oh, okay. So his link just takes you to download the Brave browser. All right, and I realized that it has been a while, and I realized that I said I was going to open up the chest a minute ago, but let's go open up that chest, D-Live. Let's do this. There we go. Had to refresh and distributing these awards. And it is hot in here. I'm not going to lie. It is really, really hot in the office today. We've got big winners from Forza World TV, Big Saintsy, You Go Chill, and Peckham27, guys. Thank you guys so much for the support. 55.4 lemons sent to my followers. You guys are awesome. I really like this. I really, really like the way that the basic attention token does this. Or basic attention token. D-Live does this. All right, with that being said, let's head back over here and chill with Mr. Bitcoin. Not doing much. Higher low, consolidation right below that previous high. Philly's got so much gold tucked under his mattress, his nose is hitting the ceiling. If you think the 3K, if you think the 7K to 3K dip this year is bad, what will you do when the enemies are storming our gates? Short signal on Mr. Aussie Yen over here. Nothing right now. Aussie Kiwi. Didn't catch that. I mean, short signal right here, but I wouldn't have taken that. Not after that drive down. We're just blowing through it right now. Aussie CAD is wrecking shorts right now. Nothing I'd want along. Aussie dollar is a little bit more interesting, but we're not quite there yet. The Canadian Swissy is looking like a continuation short. Canadian yen is looking like a continuation short as well. Swissy yen is looking like a short signal. It actually looks quite good. Big run up, distribution. Let's get that breakdown. Euro Aussie. Euro Aussie looks pretty good. I mean, you missed it. Two comps. Actually, I have one comp long signal over here. 1% risk. Full comp right here. Euro CAD. Full confirmation on this candle. Yeah, euros look good. Not quite there yet with the Euro Swissy. Euro Kiwi, however, doesn't look very good. Conflicting signals. Long signal and closing below the baseline. Don't touch that. Ooh, Euro Pound. That's the one I like. That's a 2-conf. 2-conf, 2%, baby. Euro Yen. Nope. Euro Dollar. I hate the Euro Dollar. 1-conf right there. 1-conf did you okay? Pound Kiwi. Not quite yet. This kind of looks very similar to that Swissy yen. Is it the Swissy yen? Yeah, Swissy yen. Let's get that breakdown on the Pound Kiwi. Pound CAD's been holding up strong. I would not short that. That looks strong. Pound Swissy. I would long this. Pound yen I wouldn't touch. Pound dollar I wouldn't touch. Pound Aussie I wouldn't touch. Kiwi dollar is looking good. Kiwi dollar looks good. Kiwi CAD looks even better, but I would rather take the... There's that reversal I talked about a couple weeks ago. I would rather take that Kiwi dollar trade. Yeah, the Kiwi pairs look fantastic. Wouldn't take the Kiwi yen. Wouldn't take the dollar CAD, nor the dollar Swissy or the dollar yen. Aussie Swissy, no. What about the dollar yuan? Got that short move that I was looking for. I'm not logged into my Awanda account here, but we're starting to gear up for a long on the dollar yuan. Not yet though. All right, guys. Talk to me. Zag sucks. Zao sucks. We got the Euro financial stability review tomorrow. I'm doing good, Dark Rico. How are you, my friend? Talk about politics? Nope. Not after those negative comments on my socialism video. Stay away from politics. VXX. Barclays. Looking at VXX, asking how low can it go? Lower. I'll tell you what, man. I guarantee you that there's somebody. This is short-term futures. I mean, you can't long this, man. Not until you get good confirmation. This seems pretty good. Catching confirmation early. Yeah. So we can trade this, but I definitely would want to buy this on the way up. It seems to give you a, I mean, just looking at this chart, it seems to give you ample like time. This thing just trends. Like if it starts going up, like it's like you get signs, like everything fires. Parallax would be the one to watch on this. Ooh, a bit of bullish divergence on Parallax, which is interesting to see. Yeah, I wouldn't be scraping the lows on VXX, but if you're, you know, again, just watching the cycle, seems about time. So just wait for your good confirmations. And above 1764, Minx crossing up. Actually, I'd want to take Minx above the 0 line with this, because this thing is a little bit more volatile. Wendy2 says, chest me. Yeah, I'll throw you in the chest. We already did the chest. You're late to school, my friend. Aussie CAD. We just looked at that, right? Yeah, that's a no-go. I agree with Andrew on that one. Look at RBS, please. Now I know where you're from. Peckham 27. Just teasing you. I have a lot of firm comments on this. Let's start off on the monthly. This is traditional, so let's actually pull out our emos for this. This thing just can't catch a break, can it? Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low. Rejection from the 21 monthly EMA. So the monthly looks bearish. Let's go on to the weekly. Rejection. Potential failure to achieve on the weekly. Rally, sell off. Lower rally. I'd like to fade up around like maybe 610. Makes sense to me. But I wouldn't long this. Yeah, in fact, I'd say 3 months to the upside. This looks like high probability. The high probability trade is fading this. Yeah, like 610. Yeah, because we don't have any long signals right now. Massive bad management and huge greed. They caused the UK part in 07. Yeah, baby. Well, now you can give it back to him. Short that shit. But don't short cracking cryptocurrency, guys, because it is the conclusion of another fantastic episode, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. It's been awesome spending my time with you guys. Thank you guys so much. Great audience participation. Thank you guys so much for the follows, for the likes, for the shares, for the subscriptions. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Welcome to the community. Any people who are new, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to record segments of today's show. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I'll get it off of YouTube. Thank you so much. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, or death threats, leave them in the comments section here on YouTube down below, and I will do my best to get back to you within the next 48 hours. The Bybit Brawl is live, guys. We are going to do our best to crush the competition and bring in this 100 BTC win, potentially. The price pool isn't that high yet, but we just have to see how many people register for the competition. 100 potential BTC price pool, bringing it home for the home team right here, guys. So if you guys would like to register for that, you guys can go to bybitbrawl.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Link is in the description below. If you haven't registered for Bybit yet, you can do that with the Bybit link down in the description, bybit.crackingcryptocurrency.com. You get $120 if you want to do that. It does require depositing 0.2 BTC to get 60, and then 60 you'll get just for registering for the competition. Minimum deposit is 0.05 BTC to compete in the competition. You can put $1 in Bybit for all they care. All right, we will be back tomorrow, guys. Make sure to go check out the interview with Particl after this video if you have not already, or the Bybit tutorial. I'm sure you're going to love both of them. If you guys have seen them already, thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. I will see you guys tomorrow here at noon, same time, same crypto network, same trading, same everything. To the premium members, guys, a fantastic week. I'm happy to close out so much profit with you guys. To Alex and Da Vinci, Fibonacci, the other analysts as well. You guys are absolutely crushing it. It's such a pleasure to be working with the best trading team, the best trading professionals that I've ever worked with. You guys are absolutely fantastic. And I don't tell you that enough. And I would have been lucky to have a mentor like any one of you guys back when I was first learning to trade. I wouldn't have bashed my head through so many walls so many years ago. But anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow at noon Central Standard Time for the next show. I will have a guest. There will be somebody here in the studio for tomorrow. This will be the first that somebody has been in the Cracking Cryptocurrency studio, non-remotely, and the first time that we've not been out doing the interviews. Look forward to our next interview with Silvio McCauley, the CEO and founder of Algorand, winning of the Turing Award. So many other laurels I could toss on the individual. It was a fantastic conversation. Looking forward to that sit down, getting that all edited and published. I will see you guys. And Friday, we won't be here Friday or Monday. We'll not be here Friday or Monday. But there will be videos coming out instead. Tonight at 6 p.m., the next Breaking Bitcoin Bits episode is going to drop. Make sure you guys check that out as well. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not already, because that's the only place where the Breaking Bitcoin Bits are going to come out. Till then, guys, trade safely. I'll see you in the next one.
you